हरिः ॐ मातृदेवेभ्यो नमः पितृदेवेभ्यो नमः आचार्यदेवेभ्यो नमः. As usual, first prayers to my mother, my father, then my guru. After that, Atithi Devebhyo Namaha. So all the Atithis that are the guests here. We have been discussing Ramayana, the biography of Rama written by Valmiki, and understanding how it will be useful in our day-to-day life today. Last episode, we discussed that Sugriva sent all his people towards four sides: north, west, east, south. He has also told them what all to expect, what all the things they have to search, and what they will be encountering, what kind of places they will be seeing, what experiences can be expected. All that he narrated to every party from, on whichever side it went, with all the details. Hanuma, under the leadership of Hanuma, Angada, and rest of the people, rest of the warriors, under Angada's leadership, were sent towards south. Sugriva had a lot of confidence in Hanuma, and so Rama also had the same confidence in Hanuma. He gave his ring as a proof to Hanuma. Whenever you see Sita, show this so she can believe you. All the search parties have come back within the 1 month time frame, but the party that went towards the south, there was huge area to cover, and they were searching every place. We also discussed last time that when you are searching for something, there is no logic. Even if you are searching for a 6-footer, you will be searching in a hole of 1 foot. That's because we don't want to take a chance, leave it to chance. That's why Hanuma, Angada, they were searching all the Vindhya mountain range everywhere. They were even not taking any rest. Food was also neglected. Generally, when we are very much involved in some work, we always tend to forget our rest or the food, even the water. That's why nowadays some of the companies, especially in my company, every hour there is a reminder on the computer saying that, hey, you have to take a break. It can be a 30 seconds break for some time, and sometimes it will be a 5-minute break. And they also suggest to perform some exercises. It is very key to keep our spirits high to take periodic breaks. However, that was ignored by the party, Angada's team, and so they got tired. Then all of them were sitting. Angada got up and said, Sugriva is very strict king. He has ordered us to go and search for for Sita and also find Ravana. This is the work for Rama and Lakshmana, who are the great people. So we are serving Rama and Lakshmana. We cannot be complacent. And he tells the team that if we are discouraged, if we lose our momentum, or if we lose our enthusiasm in any work, then we fail very quickly. Instead, we have to be energized, and we should look at the goal. So let us get up, encourage each other. Let's start. The moment you take rest, you will lose the momentum. So let's get up and go. Then he said, anyway, the one month time is over that Sugriva has given. So if you go back now, we will be punished. Instead, if we search, find Sita, that means if we can get results, then Sugriva may leave us. It'll keep them happy. Sugriva, Rama, and Lakshmana. So even though we our limit past that 1 month, let's continue the search. And he told, because now he's the youngest in this entire team, but still he's the team lead. Then he said, if you think that my plan is right, let's do it. If not, if you have a better plan, please share with me. By using these words, through Angada, Valmiki is teaching us how to be a team lead. Your team may lose the momentum. Your team may be discouraged with short-term failures, or they may lose track of the goal. At that time, how should a team lead perform? The team lead has to explain to them the secret of success. That's what Angada has done here. He said, if you keep your enthusiasm, positive thinking, mindset, and can do attitude, we can achieve the results. He was motivating the team members. At the same time, he understands the population of the team. There are seniors, there are very powerful members in the team. So they may revolt. They may say, you are a kid. How come you are telling us all these things? So, to keep them also in the loop, in the decision making process, he said, if you have a better idea, please let me know. He explained what they should do. He explained what does it take to accomplish the results. And third, he said, if you have a better idea, please let me know. That should be a team lead's trait. Then one of the old monkeys in the team, he was not even able to talk because he was very thirsty. He was very hungry. Still, he got up and said, yeah, I see value in what Angada is saying. We have to continue the search. We have to get the results. Results only speak about the effort. If you are a failure, whatever effort you might put, it is not going to be considered at all. But if you get the results, in the meantime, if you have lost some time or you have defied some rules, you may be considered for a success. Most of the people also in the projects, they say, oh, deadline is approaching. I cannot complete this work. So let me somehow push it. Or whatever I have, let me deliver it. Not even looking at the quality of the product. That's not a good idea. If your deadline is approaching, or you may think that you will not be able to meet the deadline, you have to let the management know about it, or at least get very good results which will keep the management happy. Instead, lot of people, they want to meet the deadline but not with the quality expected. In what way is it helpful? It is not helpful for the individual, for the team, and also to the company. Similarly, here also they have all agreed that let's search for Sita, find her. With that good no good news, let's go back to Sugriva, and Sugriva may pardon us. They were again energized, even though they were thirsty, they were hungry. Still, they started searching again. That's the power of can do attitude and the motivational talk of a leader. So they went beyond their capability, searched the Vindhya mountains and the caves, everything. Excuse me. Again, every inch they searched, but still they could not find. At this point, they were totally exhausted. They were very thirsty. They had to have water, they had to have food. They could not see water anywhere in the nearby. While doing that, Hanuma observed a cave, or rather, it was a valley full of trees. But some birds were coming out of that valley and their feathers were wet. So he used his logic and said, these birds are coming out of the valley and their feathers are wet. That means there must be water inside. And because they are alive even after consuming that water, that must be drinkable. That must be potable water. Let's go and explore that water. When they tried to do that, the valley was so dark because of the thick trees. They could the sun rays were not entering that valley at all. So it was totally dark. Even then, they were holding one another's hands, and started continuing the journey. They went miles into the valley. Finally, they saw some light and they found very beautiful buildings covered with gold, and the trees were very, very bright with golden ornaments on them. They saw water, a pond. So, why did Valmiki narrate this story? He has to give some message. There is no need for just putting some story in Ramayana or anywhere. If someone is telling you a story, there must be a reason behind it. Here also, they were totally exhausted. When we are exhausted, our mind stops working. The logic goes off. But a successful person can think even, excuse me, I've been very tired today since my meeting started at 6:30. So, sorry about that. So, we just tend to make more mistakes when we are tired, and we do not use our logic at all. Whereas Hanuma used his logic. He wanted to find water. Instead of losing the courage, losing the hope, he was searching for water and the indications of where the water can be. As soon as he saw the birds with wet feathers, he immediately said, there must be water in it. People, the rest of the team had faith in him and also the hope. That's why, even though it was so dark, they were finding ways to succeed, to go to the bottom of it. That's why they were holding each other, one another's arms. They have even traveled miles. When there is hope and a goal, we can put all out efforts to it out. If we lose hope or if we do not have goal, then nothing can be accomplished. However tired you are, however lost you are, if you have these two, hope and goal, you will succeed. The third piece is faith. If someone tells you something and if you have faith in that person, you will succeed. There was a story. One guy was in Sri Lanka and he had to travel to India, and there is an ocean between. The last boat left and he had to go and reach India by the morning. Suddenly, someone appeared before him and he said, "Hey, take this, put it in your hand. Don't open it. Just keep it. And then just say Rama, 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 Rama. Chant Rama, Rama, Rama and start walking on the water. You will reach India, no issues." At that point of time, he was desperate. When we are desperate, we believe anyone. That's another danger. When we believe someone, we should know who that person is. You cannot blindly believe someone. But when we are desperate, anything we believe. So he was desperate. He took that, whatever he has given to him, a paper, a roll of paper, he kept it in his fist, started walking on the water, Rama, 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 Rama. He was chanting. He walked half of the distance. So the faith he had in that person and the Rama's name, he was walking. Then suddenly he got a doubt. What is in this paper roll that is making me walk on the water? Now, his thinking process, he's now comfortable, he's walking on the water. And so, he wanted to know what is there in this. He opened the paper roll. There it was written Sri Rama. That's all. In that paper only the name Sri Rama was written. He immediately said, "What? This does not have any material that can float me. It's just a paper and Sri Rama, Rama's name was written on it. How can this take me to the other side of the ocean?" I blindly believed that guy. Immediately he drowned. That's the power of faith. When he was desperate, he had faith in that person and he started walking on the water. The moment he knew there was nothing in that paper, he lost faith and he could not anymore float on the water. That's why the three elements that can make anyone successful are hope, goal, and faith. Here, the team were desperate. They had faith in Hanuma and they had hope that they can find water. So they went miles into that dark valley. Finally, they found water. Then the question comes up, how come there is such a beautiful city in that dark valley? Maybe this is the trick of a demon. Maybe this water is poisonous. Maybe this is very dangerous place for us. See how the mind can trick us so badly. If we do not control our thought process, this is what happens. Initially, Hanuma said these birds could survive that water, which means it is not poisonous, it is not dangerous. Now they were doubting that. They were afraid of consuming that water. They found a lady in that place, so they went to her. They have introduced. That means they have gone to someone's area. Maybe that lady was owning that place. So it is an etiquette that we have to introduce ourselves. When we go to some place, someone's place, we have to introduce ourselves and we have to tell them why we are there. So Hanuma tells her that what for they came, and he recites the entire story of Rama so far, whatever has happened. He says, oh, Rama and Lakshmana were the sons of Ayodhya, King Dasaratha. Then Rama was supposed to be crowned because of Kaikeyi's wishes. He was sent out. He lost his wife. Some demon has taken her. And Rama came to came to Sugriva. He helped him by killing Vali. And now, under the orders of Sugriva, we came here to search Sita. And that lady says, first, please have food. She offered them food, water, and made them take rest. In our day-to-day life also, if we see someone very tired or who is hungry, thirsty, first provide that to them before asking what they are, why they are there, and when they are leaving. First, fulfill the need of that person, the basic needs of that person. Comfort the person. Then he or she may be able to talk. But we don't do that. Most of the time we'll say, we don't even care for the status of the person. We'll say, okay, who are you? Why are you here? So that means we always suspect the motive of that other person. Here she did not do that. She said, please first have food, take some rest, and then you can tell me more about it. They got refreshed. They took some rest also. That's when they recited Rama's story again. You will see in this entire story lineup, whenever they reach a dead end, Valmiki makes them recite Ramayana. The story happened until that point. That is the power of Ramayana. As you recite it multiple times, or any time you recite, something good happens to the person. Remember, when all of them were tired, that time also Angada said, hey, Rama, Lakshmana are very good king, very good people. We have to help them. Even though he is afraid of Sugriva, still he was saying that we have to favor Rama and Lakshmana. As he was thinking good and he was trying to help Rama and Lakshmana, the things were going smoothly. Also, they were not finding food, they were not able to find water, and when they found it, it is because uh, Angada already recited Ramayana. They were able to find the place where they can take rest. A nice person. Initially, they were thinking that, oh, this must be demon's house. We will be killed because now we do not have power to fight that person, fight the demon. But it so happens when you have good karma, the things will fall in place automatically. That's what has happened here for Hanuma and the rest of the party. They had food, they had water, they got comforts, they got the rest too. Then they ask her about her story. She says that Maya was a very good architect. He built this entire place for himself and his girlfriend Hema. However, Indra, the king of gods, did not like that, so he killed Maya. Now, this place, entire place, was gifted to Hema by Brahma, the creator. And that Hema has put me as the in charge of this place. My name is Swayam Prabha. The Swayam Prabha, every name has a meaning. Swayam Prabha means she has her own light. So we call sun as Swayam Prabha. Whoever can emanate light is called Swayam Prabha, self-shining. So she said, that is why I am here. No human being or no one who enters this place can get out of this valley. But because you are on a good path, you are trying to help someone, I will take you all out of this valley and place you at the seashore. They were very happy about that, and Swayam Prabha had put them all on the seashore. How is the status of this entire team now? They got some comfort. They had food. They had rest. Immediately, if they had the goal, if they had the hope of finding Sita, the goal of finding Sita, the faith that they can find her, they would have been energized. But whenever we are comfortable, we want to avoid any work or we want to avoid any risk. When they were so thirsty, they were risking their lives. They were risking lives. But now they are comfortable, so they are not risking. That's when Angada tells rest of the team that Sugriva is very strict person and he is angry too. He asked us to come back in 1 month, but that 1 month has passed. If we go back, he will kill. Instead of going back and get killed, I would like to kill myself here. It is not that he is afraid of going to Sugriva. Or is he afraid of failure? What is his motivation there? Just before he said we have to find Sita, and when we find Sita, Rama, Lakshmana will pardon us, Sugriva will also pardon us. And at that time they were very tired. They were they did not have any way to go. Now all of a sudden they had a hope. That hope. We are comfortable here. We can just stay here. We don't need to go to Kishkinda. If we don't go to Kishkinda, it's okay. Rama and Lakshmana, they don't find us. They can't do anything to us. We can live. Immediately, all the rest of the team members were also saying, yeah, you're right. We will stay here. We will go back to Surya, the Swayam Prabha, and we can stay for the rest of our life. The things can change, our mind can change our thinking process so quickly. That's when we have to have someone next to us who can advise us properly. Hanuma was observing the entire situation. He did observe the leadership qualities of Angada previously, and even now also. He is observing it. But he has to be put on the right path. Then there is four ways you can convince someone: Sama, Dana, Bheda, Danda. Sama means just talking to that person patiently, trying to explain. Dana means giving something as in return, as a gift or something, saying that, hey, there is a carrot at the end of it. You will get this if you complete this work. Bheda, which is confrontational. We'll say, hey, if you do not do this, this is what is going to happen, threatening. The fourth one is danda, that means punishing someone and getting the work done. Here, Hanuma, and again, every manager has to find which one is the right one at the given circumstances. Hanuma looked at this. Under these circumstances, Sama and Dana are not going to help. That means trying to talk to them, saying that, hey, we have to search for Sita, because they are already comfortable and they found a place where they can securely, safely stay. Because Swayam Prabha said, whoever enters this cannot go out. And with great difficulty, they went inside. So they thought, fine, no one is going to come here. No one can find. And there is plenty of food there, plenty of comforts. We'll just live there for the rest of the time. So, Hanuma says, Sama is not going to work. Dana, what can he give? Already they are afraid that even if they have the result, they go back to Sugriva, they will be killed because they have not come back within 1 month. So he cannot say anything as far as Dana is concerned. Now he decided to go with the Bheda. That means confrontational. He tells Angada that, Angada, this is not right. There is no place in this world that is safe from Rama or Lakshmana's arrows. They will search and kill us. When Rama's arrow could kill Vali and also break a lot of mountains there, entered into the earth and came back. It is such a powerful arrow, which means they can come and wherever we are, they can kill us. That's one point. Secondly, all these teammates, now they are saying yes, But later, they will just defy you because they have to go back to their family. For Angada is not married, but rest of the people, of course, Hanuma is not married, but rest of the monkeys, they were all married. They cannot just abandon their families. So one day or the other, they want to go back to their families. At that time, they will defy you. They will make you lonely. They will run away. They will go back to Kishkinda. Whatever may happen, they take the risk. They'll go, they'll plead pardon, or they may say that Angada wanted us to stay back. Whatever it is, they will scapegoat anyone to safeguard themselves. Then you will be alone. On the other hand, me and some other loyal people to Sugriva, we will never abandon him. We are not going to stay here abandoning Sugriva. We will go back. That means you will be alone. That's the confrontational. So you tell the person the real uh, scenario going forward. Extrapolate it and let them know what would happen in the future. And then he says, we have no other way but we have to search. Then again, they take the word of Hanuma, they start searching. They go all around. Finally, they were totally exhausted again and they did not know what to do. At that time, Angada said, I'm not moving anywhere. I'm going to die here. I will live here without eating anything, and so I'll sacrifice myself. Immediately, rest of the team members were also showing solidarity to him. They were saying, "Oh, Angada is going to die, then we will also die." The positive energy is contagious, but negative energy is even more contagious. There may be upbeat in a team. All of a sudden, one guy who's pessimistic starts doubting, and he takes rest of them with him, and the entire project down. You have to identify that one person who is going to bring down the entire team. Similarly, here Angada was giving up. Right from the beginning, he somehow did not believe Sugriva because he said, he killed my dad. When Hanuma tries to convince him that they have to work for Sugriva and Sugriva is a great person, Angada starts asking him, how is he a good person? He started showing all the mistakes that Sugriva has made right from the beginning. He was saying, "Oh, my dad and he were very good brothers together." And then when my dad went to kill Dundavi, this guy closed that road, the door of that, came back, claimed the leadership, claimed the kingdom, and then he was enjoying my mother too. Finally, my dad came back. He took the help of Rama, and he got his elder brother killed. Also, when he was supposed to help Rama, he forgot that word. He went back to Tara and Ruma. He was enjoying them. So, where is the just? How can you say he is reliable? The moment you start thinking negatively about any individual, you will see all bad things only in that person. Imagine someone, I was coming into your party And someone saw me from the distance and just whispered to the other person, saying that, you know what, this guy is a mad person. He's crazy. He does not know what he speaks. And he says so many other things. And as soon as I enter that room, people will be looking at me suspiciously, and anything I say, they look at me with the colored glasses. They say, oh, this guy is a mad guy. He does not know what he's speaking. So even if I say, oh, this is mango? Wow, this season, how could you get mango? They'll say, that guy is mad. He's holding the mango and he's saying, how come it is coming in this, it is available in this season? So, whatever, you wink your eye, you wave your hand, whatever I do, you will look at me with that colored eyes only, colored glasses only. So, here, Angada was talking very bad about Sugriva. Everything that happened previously, he was finding fault with Sugriva, and that says he cannot be relied upon. So, we are not going back to Kishkinda. We will stay here. We will not eat anything. We will die here. That is the depression mode. A lot of people get into that, especially in the northwest, because there is not so much of light. It's always dark. The daytime is less. Nighttime is high. And I've observed in so many places, they just put lights where they are. And that too enough to see. But that is not good for the health. The brightness should be there. In the house, wherever you are living, make sure that the entire place is bright. That keeps the spirits of the person high. Otherwise, the depression mood sets. Once the depression mood sets, it's easy to go down the path. No one can pull you up from that. Here also, Angada was in a depressing mood and he was taking the entire team with him. And rest of the people were also saying, okay, we are also dying with Angada. We are not going to stay. At that time, there was a huge bird. We don't call it as a bird, but do you remember that Sampati, the previously, not Sampati, the other bird that fought with Ravana. So that was a huge bird. And similar bird was sitting on the mountain, and he was hearing all these guys. Then he said, see, when someone is totally desperate, God will take care of them. I am not able to fly. He was old and his wings were burnt. So he was not able to move. He was hungry and he saw Angada and rest of the party. He thought, fine, God has sent me all these people. I will wait here. Anyway, they are dying. And as each one is dying, I will eat them. So God has sent them as my food. Then it so happens, Angada starts reciting Ramayana again. He says, where are we? Where did we come? What are we doing here? Why Rama had to come? So likewise, even though in a depressing mood, he was saying that Rama came and then Sita was abducted by Ravana, and Ravana, the bird, I'm sorry, I'm not able to recollect. Jatayu, I'm sorry. So, Jatayu fought with Ravana, and he died. So, that entire story, Angada was reciting again to Vanaras, the monkeys. Sampati, the bird which is on the top of the hill, heard it. At that moment, he was thinking that these are God sent food for him. The moment he heard Jatayu's name, it alarmed him. Immediately, he started talking to these to Angada and rest of them. He said, "Oh, who are you? You are saying Sampa Jatayu. What is it? Tell me something. What is it? What happened? Who are you guys? And why are you talking about Rama?" Immediately, Angada and rest of the people were afraid that this bird is going to kill them and eat them. And they were not ready to believe that bird also. Look at it. A minute before, they wanted to die. And when they saw this bird, they were afraid that this bird will kill them. So they were not able to respond to him. In the meantime, again, Angada says, "Anyway, we decided to die. What is the point in being afraid of this bird? That's okay. We will tell him again the entire story." Again, he started with Ayodhya. Dasratha was the king of Ayodhya. Rama, Lakshmana, and Bharata, Shatrughna are his four sons. He had three wives. Entire so the story of Rama, he recites it to Sampati, and at that time they say this Jatayu, who was the friend of Dasaratha, tries to help Sita and he fought Ravana. Unfortunately, Ravana killed her because he was very old. Immediately, Sampati says, "Oh God, Sampati is my brother. He's killed, but I'm glad he tried to help his friend Dasaratha." Even then, these guys were not ready to believe Sampati. They were still thinking that, "Oh, this guy heard this story from us. He heard about Jatayu. Immediately is making a relationship with Jatayu so that we can believe him and he can kill us, eat us." But again, even if you are doubting someone, you have to clear it. But most of the time, when the fear and doubt they get together, that's a deadly combination. A doubt and fear taken together can bring animal out of us. There is no rational behavior afterwards. Who is a who is better having a brave enemy or a coward friend? A coward friend is more dangerous than a brave enemy, because a coward friend can throw us under the bus because he is afraid of things. So he can just deceive us, or he can just ditch us, or maybe if he has a gun with him, someone makes some other noise, he is afraid and he may shoot us. So if you are sensing that you are afraid of something, or you're sensing that there is something that is going to happen, immediately think about this and say, "This is a deadly combination. I cannot have that. Let me think positively." So Hanuma asks Sampati about his story, because they have already given their story, why they were here. Sampati tells them that Sampati and Jatayu were brothers. Sampati was older brother. and they were very old in the sense they have seen ages. At one point, they had a race to see who can reach sun faster. They were flying towards the sun. Then Jatayu could not take the heat. Sampati, out of love and affection, covered Jatayu with his wings. That's when his wings got burnt and he fell down on the hills there. And after that, there was no news about Jatayu. This is the first time he was hearing about Jatayu after that incident, and he was very sad that Jatayu died. At the same time, he said Jatayu has did what he is supposed to do. He tried to help his friend. In our lives also, once we say someone is our friend, we have to commit to help that person under any circumstances. Then Jatayu says, can you bring me down so I can talk to you? Still, these guys say, we are not going to bring you down. Who will get the death down? If we bring you down, you are going to kill us. Then Hanuma asks Sampati, do you know about the demon who has taken Sita? Because you said here, you are here. Then Sampati says, yes, Ravana has taken some lady and she was very beautiful. She was shouting Rama, Lakshmana, and Ravana has taken her towards the south. There is an ocean. From there, it's in the middle of the ocean. His city is in the middle of the ocean, and he had kept Sita there. And he also tells 7 layers in the sky. Who can fly in which layer? I mean, our aeroplanes also, right? The local planes, they go at certain height. They cannot go beyond that height. The 5-seaters or even the helicopters. But beyond that, the aircrafts that go from one city to the other city, and the aircrafts that go from west coast to east coast, they go a little higher. Rocket goes even higher. That's what is told here. Jatayu Sampati tells them that the ones that eat grains on the floor, those birds are they fly very low. The next ones are that can take food from the water. Likewise, he says the 7th layer is the most powerful layer, and my family, we can fly in that 7th layer. And because we are so powerful, our eyesight is also very powerful. Because if I am in the 7th layer, I should be able to see what is on the ground, so I can pick up that as my food. So our eyesight is very powerful. With that eyesight, I am able to see that Sita is in Lanka in the control of Ravana. Then again, when you doubt something, everything seems to be doubtful. Then they ask Sampati, you do not have your wings, you cannot fly. How did you notice Sita and Ravana? And you were saying that they were going there. Then Sampati gave them the answer. I have a son. Because I am not able to fly, my son was feeding me. And my family, we are very hungry. Our appetite is very high. So, my son was feeding me every day. One day, he got delayed. And he came empty-handed. I was very angry at him. And I said, what? You have gone in the morning, now you are coming so late and you have come empty handed. I'm so hungry here. Then my son humbly said that, Dad, I went to get the food for you, and suddenly I heard some lady begging for help. And I saw this demon taking her. I wanted to stop him. I was controlling the entire ocean, the sea. I stopped everything from that so I can collect the food for you. And Ravana came, he said, Hey, can you please give me this? Give me the way. Because he asked me so politely, I give him way. Otherwise, I would have fought with him. But later on, whoever was there surrounding, they said he was a very powerful demon called Ravana and he could have killed me. He was more powerful than me. So if I had confronted him, I would have been killed. But I don't care for myself, but I have you to support here. You would be waiting for me, thinking that I'll come and get the food. So, to keep up my word to you and to take care of you, I came here. I have not confronted Ravana. So, with this story, what all the things we have to observe? One, when there is someone disabled, we have to help that person. We have to take responsibility of that person and help. If it happens to be your family member, you should be even more careful. That's what the son was doing. Son was taking care of father. I know this concept may be strange for the Western world, because in the Western world we think that at the age of 18 I'm on my own. It was my dad's responsibility, my parents' responsibility to bring me up. They supported me until 18, and now I am on my own. I have no connection with my dad. When I came here in 99, I was going with my colleague. It was around 9 o'clock in the night. His car got stopped. Then he called his dad, somewhere nearby it seems. He said, Dad, I'm very sorry I've disturbed you at this point. My car got stopped. Is it okay if I come by and stay with you this night? Then his dad said, Yeah, fine, but sometimes, of course, this time I'm okay because your car died, but generally we need some heads up. I was thinking it is such a strange relationship because in India, I'm not used to that. I can always say, Dad, I'm in trouble. Immediately, my dad will be worried. He'll say, Okay, should I come down? Shall I take care of you? Come over. Well, let's have some food. I'll get some food for you. Let me make sure that you are comfortable. And there is no your and mine. My dad's house is my house. Because I was born and brought up there. For 18 years I was there. Just because I'm 18-year-old does not mean that my connections go off. So that's what when someone is disabled, first try to help that person, take care of them, especially if they are parents, even if they are not disabled, it is our responsibility because they are growing old, and at some point or the other they need support. We cannot leave them in the old age homes and then say, Fine, you're on your own. Let me know when you die. That should not be the case. So that's what Sampati's son was doing, and he wanted to confront Ravana, but he remembered his responsibility. So that means what does that mean? When we are trying to do something, we should also look at the repercussions. If it is harming us only, that's fine, you can take the risk. But because of your decision, if someone else is troubled, or if one of your responsibilities cannot be fulfilled, then better not venture that. Step back. Ego is not, ego and pride are not the only things that we have to consider. Sometimes we have to get back. When there is a huge wave, we have to bend our head and bow so the water can fall and it can go. If we stand erect, the water takes us, the wave takes us in. Even the huge trees, they bend and they survive. Here also, Sampati's son gave away the player gave away the play way to Ravana to leave. And so Sampati told Hanuma and rest of the team that my son told me about Sita and Ravana, and because I could fly, my family could fly at the seventh layer of this atmosphere. My eyesight is very powerful. By sitting here, I can see Sita in Lanka. So you have to fly, you have to go to that place. When he told that news, again, Hanuma's party was joyful, hopeful. Remember, I said, when you have hope, goal, and faith, you can achieve anything. Now, they have faith, they got the faith in Sampati's words because he could give all the logical explanation. The hope that they can find Sita, the goal that they have to find Sita to get back to Kishkinda and be alive. Those three again got revived in this entire party. Then, all of a sudden, Sampati got his wings. Just because they were remembering Ramayana, they were reciting Ramayana, and Sampati heard that. Sampati wanted to help Rama and Lakshmana in finding Sita. The good thought itself has brought good results for Sampati. That is the power of having good thought process. It's easy to think negatively about anyone, harming anyone. It is difficult to think good always about anyone, and also always putting that hat of let me help you. But from this story, as soon as Sampati wanted to help Rama and he gave the crucial information about Sita's whereabouts to the search party, he had helped them so well. That's why he got his burnt wings back. So his work is over. He has given the information to Hanuma and the party, and he said, okay, now because I have my wings, let me celebrate them. Let me go. I was also thinking, if Sampati got the wings, why can't he carry all these guys, or at least the important people, to Lanka and say, hey, don't bother, I will take care of you. Whereas on the other side, Swayamprabha has taken all of these people out of the valley and put them on the shore. The main difference, the valleys, as Surya Prabha said, anyone who enters the valley cannot get out of the valley. There is no way they can get out of the valley. That means they are helpless. So she helped. Whereas now, these guys are capable of flying into Lanka, searching Sita, and getting back to Rama. If that is the case, why should Sampati help them? When the kid is 3 month old, 6 month old, or 1 year, we carry the kid. The moment he starts walking, we still help him sometimes because he may get tired. But once we know he has the energy, the strength to walk, we will never carry them. Even though we can walk faster, we can go very quickly somewhere, grabbing them, carrying them, and going to that place is easier and quicker, but still we don't do that because we want to grow them. We want them to have the satisfaction of accomplishment. If not, the life is easy. If you do not have any challenges in your life, the life gets bored. And when the life is boring, health goes down. And when the health goes down, we die soon. The struggle is very important in life. If there is no struggle, we are not getting any benefit out of it. You must have heard this story. A lot of times it was circulated. One caterpillar prepared a cocoon, went into it, and then it meditated or whatever it is. It was trying to break the shell and come out of as butterfly. Someone saw and then said, "Oh man, this fly, the butterfly is struggling to come out of that. Let me help him." He broke the shell and let the butterfly out. Butterfly died after some time. It could not fly. Because when it is breaking the shell, that effort makes its wings powerful. It gets the strength. And also, when it is doing that, it shells down the liquid still remaining in that body so it can become lightweight. That's nature. Nature has created it. That's why it made it as a struggle for the butterfly to come out of the shell. And by doing so, it was strengthening the butterfly. But this guy thought he is helping him out. He had cut the shell. Now, the butterfly's wings were not fully formed. They were not strengthened. So, it could not fly and died there. Sometimes we think that we are helping people, but actually not. We are working detrimental to them. That's why Sampati has not taken them. In our life also, we should not be looking for any shortcuts. If we can do something, we better do it ourselves. Just because there was someone offering the help, we don't want to take it. And amazingly, one day I was at a store. At least the person would be around 80 years or older than that. And he was having a walking stick. He bought groceries from the store, brought it to the car, and he was trying to put the material from the cart into the car. I went and said, "Can I help you, sir?" From my side, I wanted to help an old person. He said, "No, I can do it." I said, "Okay, sir, thank you." And of course, he said, "Thank you for offering me help, but I can do it myself." Immediately, this story triggered in my mind. Yes, if someone can do, let the person do it. By helping them, you're not actually helping them. You are depriving of them to be strong. If he had allowed me to help him, next time he would be looking for someone's help. Man, last time someone helped me out. Hope I can see someone. That means he is not doing that physical exercise. Maybe that would help him. That would keep him active. Imagine a situation. You walk every day 2 miles from your office to the home, and that you are forced to walk. Let us suppose it's not fun for you, but you are forced to walk. One day someone said, "Come on, I will drop you there." Immediately the second day, the mind always thinks, is there anyone to drop me? We look for the shortcuts, and we love comforts. Whether we achieved it or not, if we are comfortable, we just want to stay there. Remember, those the Angada and rest of the team were saying, "Oh, the Swayam Prabha's place is very comfortable. It's okay if we go to Kishkinda. Anyway, Sugriva will kill us. Why don't we go back to Swayam Prabha? She seems to be very nice. Why don't we go stay there?" They were taking the shortcut, and they were they were trying to enjoy the comforts at the cost of someone. It was Swayam Prabha's place, and Swayam Prabha has given them shelter because they were very tired and they needed it. So she gave them the food also. That does not mean that she can shelter them for permanently. There is cost involved everywhere. So, similarly, our mind always wants to get used to the comforts. And when we have to lose those comforts, even if they are not owned by us, even if we have not earned them, still we feel the loss of it. That is the trap life puts in us. Instead, if we can do something, we have to rely on ourselves only. We should never be dependent on someone. That's why Sampati has done a favor to these guys. He has given the whereabouts of Sita, the hope that he can see Sita in Lanka, the kingdom of the city of Ravana. So she has given very excellent clues. Sometimes they were doubting, maybe Sita died. But he confirmed that Sita is still alive. And Sita is in that place. And that place is owned by Ravana, which is matching up with every piece of information these guys were having. They have seen Ravana abducting Sita. They heard Sita shouting Rama's name. And they collected the ornaments that Sita dropped when Hanuma was at the river. And now Sampati was also telling them that this is Ravana's place. Sita is there. I can see with my eyesight, powerful eyesight, and she is there. So he has given all the information needed for Hanuma and rest of the party to raise their hope, have faith, and goal. That's all we need. So it's either way. When we are taking help or we are helping someone, the way we have to see is, are we doing enough? It is never more, never less. If you give less, still you are not solving the problem. If you are giving more, you are making a person dependent on you, and you are not allowing that person to grow any further. I've said this multiple times. What is poison? Anything consumed more than needed is poison. Be it money, be it food, water, whatever it is, even the help. Help taken more than needed or help given more than needed is also poison. We have to judge that. Sampati has done the same thing. He had helped them enough with the information and also given all the directions. Now, these guys are all sitting on the seashore. They know where to go. They saw it. And the distance measurement in Ramayana was given as yojana. I will have to look up on Google what is it converted into the miles. But it was 100 yojanas. Can someone look for the yojana measurement for me, please? So, they were, the city was 100 yojanas inside the sea.
8 months.
8 miles.
1 year.
1 yojana. Okay, that means it was 800 miles. 800 miles into the sea, that place was, the city was. Immediately, everyone started saying, remember when Sugriva said, hey, you go find Sita, the rest of the parties were saying, oh, we will go, we will kill Ravana, we will get Sita just as if we are here only. I can fly all around the world. I can fly here, I can fly there. They were talking so much. But when it came to actual situation, everyone was said, yeah, I have to, I can fly 100 miles, but not beyond that. And another person said, I can fly 200 miles, not beyond that. And then someone said, I can fly 800 miles, but I cannot fly back. There was one guy, one Jambavanta. He is the oldest guy. He said, when I was young, I used to just go around the earth every day. But now I am so old, I may be able to reach Lanka, but I cannot get back. Hanuma was not talking at all. Hanuma was just observing, and he was also worried who can go there. He was never considering himself to be powerful to fly. He forgot the faith that Sugriva had put in him, and he forgot that the wind will be on his side. If he has to fly, wind will be helping him because wind is his father. There is a curse to Hanuma. That's why he forgot all his strengths. When he was young, he was in his mother's lap. This depicts how powerful Hanuma is. Hanuma looked at the sun, the rising sun, morning sun. It was an orange color, a small ball. He thought it was a fruit. He just flew. And he had taken he was going to eat sun, swallow sun. That's when Indra, the king of the gods, he used his powerful weapon to hit him on this place, on the jaws. He falls down from there. That's when he gives a curse to him saying that you will forget that you are powerful. You will consider yourself to be a normal monkey until someone reminds you of your power, and that too to help Rama in the future. That's why Hanuma forgot about his strengths. He was just sitting, he was not even saying anything. Jambavanta, because rest of the people said, no, we can't go. And Angada says he wants to go. Angada had the capability of going there and coming back, but Hanuma says, no, you cannot go. because you are our team lead. If you go and something happens to you, this entire team is gone. That's why when there is a war, the kings do not go first. They send their army. And only at the final stages kings go and fight. That's because king has to stay back and guide the rest of the army, has to make decisions. If the decision maker himself goes off, what is the point? What happens to the rest of the army? So Hanuman says, if you go, who is going to control these people? And we cannot allow you to go because we are here. We are here to serve you. So you should not be going on your own. So Angada was not allowed. Jambavanta is old. Rest of the people did not, rest of the monkeys did not have the capability of going there and coming back. So what? What can they do? They know Sita is there, but no one is able to go there. That's when Jambavanta, because Jambavanta is so old, he knows the entire history. He knows what happened to Hanuma. That's why he goes to Hanuma and then says, Hanuma, you do not know your power. This is now Rama's work. And I know your power. In the childhood, you went up to the sun and you were about to swallow sun. That's when Indra has hit you. That's why your face has elongated like this. And Hanuma means whoever had these injured. That's why he was called Hanuma. His other names are Anjaneya because his mother's name is Anjani. Anjani's son, he is called Anjaneya. So, as Indra depicted, the predicted before, Jambavanta is reminding Hanuma about his strengths. And because this is to help Rama, he remembers entire thing. He recollects his strengths. In our day-to-day life also, we reach that Hanuma's place many times. And many of our friends also will be in that. That means something happens. They lose their hope, their faith, and their goal, their courage, everything. They just say, I can't do anything. It's all done. My life is over. Those depressing moments. That's when friend has to go and remind that person, look at this. This is just one setback. How many things have you done? How many achievements you had? Remember that day no one was able to do that project, but all of a sudden you came in and gave that solution. The project was successful and we could get millions for the company. Don't you remember that? Why are you losing your faith now? Then this guy he'll get back to his original energy. Even if there is no friend around, if we are going into that depression mode, we have to come back. That's what the exercise I always used to do. Now I am not into that position at all because for me everything is the same. But when I did not get this much of knowledge or the stability in my life, my thinking process, whenever I was having a setback, there was no one in the family because I am the head of the family. There was no one who could support me or give me the courage that the Jambavanta was giving to Hanuma. So I used to take a paper and then say, oh, I've achieved this, I've achieved this, I've achieved this, I thought that I cannot achieve this, but I did this. At this age, I wanted to meet this goal, but I had beaten it by 3 years earlier than what I thought. So I used to write all of those things. And then say, yeah, when I could do all of these things, this is small setback. So that means either you should have Jambavanta next to you or You should have Jambavanta in yourself, but never give away to give away yourself to a depressing mood. Nowadays, everything, even if it is a small setback, a failure, something happened to the beloved person, or something happened in the office, someone blamed us wrongly, and immediately people get into depressing mood and they want to commit suicide. In India, it has become so rampant. 100 is the maximum marks, right? 100%. Kid who got 95% committed suicide, saying that I expected 98, 99%. My parents expected 98%, 99%. I could not get it. I'm a failure. He died. Where is this youth going? If we can internalize Ramayana, you don't need to believe whether it happened or not. You don't need to believe in Hinduism. Just look at it as a story and the morals it is giving and internalize it. You will be having a very happy life. And I don't believe there is not one person who had never gotten into a setback or into a depressing mood. This is a major lesson from this story. Jambavanta giving, reminding what all the things that Hanuma has achieved, the faith Sugriva had put in him, the faith Rama had put in him, and crores of, billions, crore is in the British world, but billions of monkeys went on a search for Sita, but Rama gave the ring only to you, which means he also believed that you can do it. How come you are sitting like this? You do not know your power. Now I tell you, you can do this. Right away, Hanuma stood up and he looked around and said, yes, I can do it. I have the capability of it. I am going to go to Lanka, find Sita, and see how Ravana's place is, and I will come back. If possible, I will get Sita also out of that place. That is the power of positive reinforcement. And friends, you will be lucky to have one friend like that. And I offer you that friendship. In any case, any time you feel down and you need someone like Jambavanta to Hanuma, I am here. If you are lucky, find someone who you believe. Again, as I said, you have to have hope, faith, and goal. Those three things, if you have faith in someone who is telling you, goal which you are supposed to do, and then hope that you can do it, that is the positive thinking process, you will always achieve things. With that, let's conclude this week's episode. Next week, we will start the journey of Hanuma towards Lanka. Any questions? Your feedback is always welcome. At least tell us, what did you like in this entire storyline? What did you like the effort that we are putting in? The 1.5 hour sharing of the story, I have to spend at least 8 hours to prepare. And if you can tell me what you liked in this, how it helped you out, please tell us. We will incorporate that into our discussion here, because a live example is always good. I don't want to talk about myself all along. Sometimes you may get bored too. But as I said, Ramayana has carved my life. Every time I have to make a decision, I just think, what would Rama do? And I know there is one friend in India. I was guiding him, and there was no phone calls for 6 months or so. Then I just wanted to inquire. I called him, hey, how are you doing? He said, I always feel your presence next to me. Whenever I'm making a decision, I'll say, what would Murthy tell if he is next to me? What would he tell? And he gave me an example also. There was a proposal, someone came in and said, hey, if you put 5,000 in 30 days, you will get 100,000. Normally he would go for that. But he said, what will Murthy say if he is standing next to me? Then it occurred to him, if you are putting 5,000 now and you are taking 100,000 at the end of the month, that means someone is losing 95,000. Nothing can be created, nothing can be destroyed. So if your development is not organic, someone is losing that. That means you are causing someone to lose. And I would never approve that. Immediately he said, no, I'm not taking this proposal. The guy who gave the proposal was surprised, it seems, because he said, oh, these kind of deals you used to take previously. What happened now? Then it seems he said, yeah, now I have a person in my life who guides me. So, likewise, you need someone next to you to guide sometimes. And if you are lucky, it can be your spouse, it can be your brother, you can be your friend. If you do not have anyone like that, definitely we are here. That's why we want your positive stories. If at all anything happened after you started hearing these stories, that would be very helpful, and it will be joy to see we made some difference. With that, have a nice rest of the week and enjoy your life. Be happy. Take care.